Back here at home, automakers and tech giants alike are working on bringing self-driving vehicles onto America's streets. That's right. In our week-long series, The Future of Cars, CBS's Kris Van Cleave takes a look at Google's ride-hailing service, Waymo, that's already replacing drivers with AI.
I can't wait for the day when they take the steering wheel out.
Robert Stone and Sheila Zagloski aren't your typical early adopters, but the octogenarians are cheering these self-driving cars from Waymo, a newly expanded ride-hailing service in Phoenix. Waymo, owned by Google's parent company, has hundreds of cars on the road and has logged more than 1 million miles with passengers only. No humans behind the wheel.
It's very convenient, very comfortable.
I'm 83 years old and I'm thinking about retiring from driving, and it's just a great way to go.
Waymo works and costs about the same as an Uber. The ride-hailing service is seen as years ahead of its competitors in developing autonomous vehicles, with technology allowing the cars to see up to 3 football fields ahead and a track record of safe operations with only 2 minor collisions. Still, a recent survey found 68% of drivers are afraid of self-driving vehicles.
And what we've seen is that people experiencing the technology really leads to people using it more and having trust.
But the technology is still learning.
We think there's opportunities to continue to build a better service.
For now, Waymo's fleet of fully electric Jaguars are only operating in 2 cities.
If you do go to a place like Phoenix or San Francisco, you can get a taste of the future, but that technology may not come to your own home city for maybe another 10 or 15 years or more even.
Sheila and Robert are liking the way the future feels.
You don't have any mixed feelings about the fact there's no one driving the car?
That's the exciting part.
Do you think you'd give up your car for one of these?
Probably in the future. I'm only 87, so.
Keeping her options open for a driverless future. Kris Van Cleave, CBS News, Phoenix.
Tonight, auto safety advocates are sounding the alarm as bigger and heavier electric vehicles start hitting the road. They say that the extra weight from the batteries could pose a danger to other drivers in a collision. In our continuing series, The Future of Cars, CBS's Kris Van Cleave reports federal safety regulators have taken notice.
Crash tests show electric vehicles hold up well in a collision. Their batteries make the cars heavier, offering better protection to passengers inside. But that extra weight, hundreds to even thousands of pounds, comes with some risk.
I think it does present significant challenges for safety.
National Transportation Safety Board Chair Jennifer Homendy.
If you think about an impact in a crash with a lighter vehicle, with a pedestrian, it's going to have a much different outcome than we've seen in the past. Terribly tragic.
This crash test shows a sedan being hit by an SUV weighing nearly 1,000 pounds more. The car suffers noticeably more damage.
It's simple laws of physics.
Raul Arbelais from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety.
The crash for the other vehicle, when you are heavier, is going to be more severe.
GMC's Hummer EV can go 0 to 60 in roughly 3 seconds while weighing more than 9,000 pounds. Its battery alone is nearly 3,000 pounds, about the same as a Toyota Corolla. The electric F-150 is up to 2,500 pounds heavier than its gas-powered sibling. And Rivian's pickup comes in around 7,100 pounds, while the average vehicle on the road today weighs closer to 4,300.
A 7,000-pound vehicle hitting a 4,000-pound SUV, the impact on that smaller vehicle is going to be quite significant. It is going to be a more severe crash with more intrusion and higher levels of injury.
A 2011 study found a 1,000-pound difference results in a 47% increase in the likelihood a crash turns deadly. In a statement, the trade group representing the auto industry says safety is a top priority, adding automakers continue to test, develop, and integrate breakthrough safety technologies like automatic emergency braking that help save lives and prevent injuries. Technology already common in EVs. Federal regulators are now moving to require collision avoidance systems in all new vehicles, gas or electric. Kris Van Cleave, CBS News, Ruckersville, Virginia.
Back here at home, owners of electric vehicles made by Ford and General Motors will soon be able to use many of Tesla's charging stations, the largest such network in the country. One of the main concerns for many potential EV drivers are batteries running out of charge. In our week-long series, The Future of Cars, CBS's Kris Van Cleave shows us how drivers are getting over range anxiety.
In the year since Chris Ashley from Frederick, Maryland, first plugged into his new electric Ford F-150, his fears of running out of juice disappeared.
It's foolish to think that you won't have range anxiety in the beginning. However, the more you drive the vehicle, the more you start to learn how to plan your trips and how to charge and when to charge.
2/3 of drivers worried about not having enough range prior to their vehicle purchase. But after owning an EV, that dropped to 30%, according to a recent Canadian survey. One reason, better battery technology coupled with more vehicle options. This Lucid sedan claims over 500 miles per charge, but its nearly $140,000 price tag is a budget buster. The University of Delaware found 1 in 4 could do all their driving in an EV with a range of just 143 miles with the help of a home charger.
On average, EVs are getting around 250 or even up to 300 miles of range. That is a totally appropriate amount for the amount of driving most people do.
Alex Nizick from our partners at Consumer Reports.
As far as range anxiety goes, we're really starting to see charging anxiety be the more prominent issue. Chargers are less available than gas stations.
There are nearly 54,000 publicly available fast charging stations nationwide. The majority are along the coasts, and several states have fewer than 100. Those chargers are vital for longer drives, providing an 80% charge in as little as 20 minutes. But the average fuel stop is closer to 2 minutes. Ford Mustang Mach-E lead engineer Donna Dixon says that has to change.
It comes down to how quick can you stop, like a gas station stop, to charge it. We have to come together and make that infrastructure so we can get more people in these vehicles and feel comfortable with it.
Chris Ashley is charged up for a summer road trip, hoping range anxiety stays in his rear view. Kris Van Cleave, CBS News, Detroit.
Switching gears now to our week-long series, The Future of Cars. Many new vehicles rolling off the assembly line have eliminated the traditional dashboards and replaced them with high-tech touchscreens. CBS's Kris Van Cleave shows us how automakers are trying to find a balance between driver engagement and distraction.
The 2023 Cadillac Lyriq EV comes with a glimpse of the future, what General Motors calls its new cockpit experience. And if it feels a bit like a video game, that's because it was designed by gamers.
Historically, the exterior was really what made or broke a vehicle, but now it's the combination of the exterior and the interior. The digital experience is a big part of that. So
Mike Hishme leads GM's cockpit experience team. You guys have kind of gamified that experience.
Gaming has really influenced the design of not just the digital content that you see on the screens. A lot of the controls, like the steering wheel controls, are inspired by video game controllers.
The upcoming Cadillac Celestiq EV won't have a traditional dashboard at all. Instead, a video wall that stretches across the front cabin, similar to this Mercedes EV. And the new Ford Mustang screens will be powered by the same system used to develop the popular video game Fortnite.
It's the brain of the car. It's the only way that you can communicate with the driver.
Marty Romances runs San Francisco-based Territory Studio, a design firm with its roots in video games and big-budget movies that design the user experience for the Lyriq.
Cars need the same things that we do for movies and games, which is telling a very complex story in a visual language in a way that everyone can understand what's happening.
There's this delicate balance where...
Kelly Funkhauser from our partners at Consumer Reports has reviewed some of the new display-heavy vehicles.
We're really concerned about the drawing drivers' attention away from the road and putting it onto those screens. We want to ensure that the driver is engaged in the driving task.
GM says it tests for distractions before the screens ever hit the road. Kris Van Cleave, CBS News, Detroit.